Hey guys, and welcome. In this video I just wanna quickly talk about World of Warcraft Classic. There has been actually again a release of Classic WoW's fresh servers again, what many people wanted, which is really good, you know, you have to keep the game going, right? Then is always, you know, this discussion, you know, you have PvE servers, you have PvP servers, and we always have this problem. I think this is one of the biggest problem of World of Warcraft. It's almost like the developers themselves don't understand their own game. World of Warcraft, War of Races. The whole game was designed around world PvP, character building, right? But you cannot really do that. EU, the biggest region, doesn't have a single balanced PvP English server. And there's always this talk on classic WoW server forums that why don't we have any world PvP, why the PvP is dying. It has nothing to do with the game itself or what players want. It is just about how they manage the game, right? When EU, their biggest region, doesn't even have a single balanced PvP English speaking server, that's your problem, right? Because the whole game was built around world interaction, world PvP, but you have none of that in your game today. That's what I'm saying, that today World of Warcraft is nothing compared to what it was 10 years ago. Same with Runescape. Back in the days in Runescape we used to have Clan Wars, Feast of Gutix in Vildria, we have Zezima, right? You have all this PvP interaction. It was a very curious and interesting thing to do, to discover, right? And in my opinion World of Warcraft is a great game, but just how it's managed, you just don't really want me to play it again and again. They punish any theory crafter in this game because over expensive game services make it so that it's almost impossible to theory craft in this game, even though the whole game was built around that, right? If you wanna boost a character, you have to pay like $70. Insanity. And that's not even the biggest problem. You have tokens, they are forbidding GDKP, which no one really asked for. GDKP was never the problem, it was bots and tokens. That's the problem, right? I mean, everything how they manage this game is a problem. They barely make new content, theory crafting is almost impossible, the PvP, the world interaction is almost non-existent, right? I mean, yes, you can level up and there are other people there, but there is no enemy factions because most server only had one faction, because a multi-billion-dollar company couldn't implement a simple faction limiters. So we'll have balanced healthy population of both factions, right? And then one faction is starting to die and then the whole server dies because nobody wanna play on a dead server, you know? And it's always nice to have a lot of people to find groups easier. It's just so many problems on top of each other, right? I mean, even 10 years ago, if you just look at heirlooms was probably not the best choice to add into the game, because heirlooms make it so that any low level PvP is meaningless. So let's get this straight. We have no world PvP. On most these old mega servers we had, okay, now we have fresh servers, but like 2 weeks ago, until 2 weeks ago we only had mega servers, and most mega servers only have old players, so it was almost impossible to find low level PvP. The world PvP was non-existent, right? And battleground PvP was also almost non-existent. And this is all because the multi-billion-dollar company don't know how to manage their own servers. If they would just make, you know, fresh EU PvP English servers and implement some faction limiters, the game could be easily 2-3 times more popular. And if they would make it so that character boost is not so expensive, WoW Classic could be one of the most popular games today. And it's so many easy fixes they could do, right? But no. I mean, it's also kinda lame. They don't even make any new content, they just rehash 20-year-old content from people that made this content. They don't even work at Blizzard anymore. So why would I play that game? The only reason I would play it is for the community, okay? But even subscription model is outdated. Nobody wanna pay subscription anymore. Especially now that we have capitalism and bad finance and people like money, you know. But these guys are still charging $70 for a simple character boost. It's kinda insane. And then they go around and they destroy all the private World of Warcraft servers that actually had better servers, better ping, better open world than any of their official servers, you know? Even Meeting 2 days. Even Meeting 2 didn't go around and destroy private servers. Maybe there is a reason there are private servers. When you got to the point that you mismanage your game so much that it almost dies, even though it's one of the best games ever created. I don't blame people for creating private servers. Like, how they treat their player base like we are just somebody so they get money from. Meanwhile, they make zero new content. They implement everything they do for the game is bad. They made theory crafting almost impossible. They destroyed World PvP when they couldn't even make few balanced servers. Heirlooms destroy low-level PvP, mega servers destroy low-level PvP. Kinda insane. Okay, but now I need to go to sleep. So let me know what you guys think about this, and see you in the next one. Peace. And you know, I always read comments here on Reddit, and it's always like nobody really realizes what's actually a real problem. How can you have World PvP when you don't have a single balanced PvP English server? When your biggest region, Europe, doesn't have a single balanced PvP English server. So when you level up, the game feels dead because there is no enemy player interaction, and you level up in all these zones, there's not many people around, can't find groups. And then if you wanna play with everybody else, you have to pay an insane amount for character boost. And I don't really know which race and class I wanna play. Character boost should be maximum $20-30 in my opinion. They will sell so much more character boosts, people will play the game so much more. Even just from business perspective, it doesn't make sense to have a character boost $70-80. It's insanity actually. And you see this comment, every PvP server we saw in Classic essentially turned into a one-sided faction dominated PvE server. But this is not a player fault. They could easily implement faction limiter that once a player faction reaches like 50 to 55%, you cannot make that faction on the server anymore. And they will solve so many of these issues. So why are we still blaming players for this company inability to manage few servers? That's kinda insane. Maybe they're gonna learn, okay? Maybe they're gonna learn now that their numbers are low. And now that people realize their season of discovery was basically barely any new content. I mean, some of the quests were actually really good, it brought a lot of players together. But that doesn't solve any of those issues we have been talking about in this video, right? Yeah, basically this is the point. You know, it's not because you want to gank everybody and frustrate everybody, it's why you play on PvP server. It's simply for the world interaction, the world feels more alive. And there is more danger and competition. Competition multiplayer is a good thing. Don't be like Elden Ring or Final Fantasy guys, you know? Yeah, the world feels alive, you know, that's the point. Also, anybody that watches my videos, thank you. And please don't be like this guy, who uses promotional accounts to manipulate their viewers and algorithm. Guys who do this on platforms like YouTube actually make it impossible for 70% of people or content creators to get anything out of these platforms. And that's a reality. In my opinion, YouTube should never allow multiple promotional accounts on every game. Maybe just 1 or 2 or 3. Because now you get to the point that only those guys who manipulate algorithm and their viewers can get anything out of these platforms. And eventually these platforms will die, because capitalism will destroy it. Capitalism is not environment which is good for longevity, is based on illusion. Okay. How long can we keep up the illusion, is the question. I mean, the game was literally dying for last 5 years, so why are we thanking them? We're literally paying them subscription. They implement token that totally destroyed the Wrath of the Lich King and Cataclysm realms. They couldn't make a single EU balanced PvP English server. The game had so many problems. It was never because of players or how the game is made. It's how the company handles it. And I mean, this is what happens when you put a bunch of capitalism guys in charge. I don't know, man, it's always like, oh, they're doing us a favor. No, we are doing them a favor. We are investing our money, our time, our energy into this. You know, and nobody would have a problem. But deep down we all know that today Blizzard didn't made, or Activision, or how they call themselves, didn't make World of Warcraft. People did 15 years ago. And tell me how many of these people are still working and getting paid by the Blizzard? Not many, probably, you know. That's why people don't wanna play this game, even though I would love to play it. I love the game, I love the community, man. I had Druid, I had, you know, Priest. I played for many times, and then you also realize you have no chance as a content creator. Honestly, if you don't use promotional accounts on social media today, you have no chance anymore. Maybe I'm just tired and it's like 3 AM here at night, but oh man, okay, let's eat some. And then you see some of these comments and they just piss me off a bit. Even though I know that platforms like Reddit, most of these accounts here are fake promotional accounts, and how easy it is to manipulate media today, you know. And then you say, wow, I think it's crazy. They give us everything we wanted. What did they give us again? They made 0 new content for us. So there is still subscription in the game. A single character boost was $70-80. More than the price of a new game. EU region didn't have a single balanced PvP English server, so the game was dying for last 5 years in EU region. And then you read comments like this, you know, like, bro, maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe I'm just too real and too dark, I don't know. Or these are just all bots. People don't realize that social media is like 50 to 70% bots today, and promotional accounts and verified tag abusers and whatever. Warrior.